uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. freedomsphoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.
Freedom's the answer. What's the question? You're listening to Ernest Hancock.
Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you want to have a good time, just give me a call.
I got my stinking badge. Yeah, they're going to talk about you got to have a badge. Well, I got my stinking badge. You know, I get to do whatever I want as an individual. I'm the stinking badge of whatever. You know, no. That's not how they're thinking. You know, certain people get more privileges and rights than others. They're treated different. It's a royalty complex. It's a government worshiping complex. And it doesn't do any good to go beating these guys over the head. You know, I'm just trying to, you know, be nice to them, give another perspective, have them think. Because really, you're not talking to them. You're talking to their audience in Dallas-Fort Worth. Gee, I wonder what they think. Now, one of the things was she was saying, the other co-host, later in the segment, she's talking about, threats against you is not a crime. And there was another gentleman, and we'll, just let it go for a couple minutes after I go, just a few seconds, where he was saying, no, I mean, yeah, that's assault. You know, I'm going to kill you. You know, that's a crime. And, so it's ouch quitted on a bunch of little stuff like that. But I wanted to get our perspective out on this, and I think I did. Let's go ahead and go back to it.
They can go so the people are safe. That's the government telling you what to do. How do you imagine a world without the government ever telling you what to do about anything?
Free.
What?
I imagine a world that's free without being told what to do.
That's anarchy, sir.
I pick my battles. We try and make it very clear why we take certain positions, and it's all about the sanctity of the individual, the ability of an individual to make a decision for themselves and take responsibility for their decisions. And in this shooting, none of the real questions are ever even asked. It's already predetermined what's going to happen. And every one of these mass shootings like this, where you have a young man that does this, you find out they're on prescription medications. You find out that it was mandated by government. You find out the school nurse is shoving something down his throat.
Well,
we don't even wait for that.
I don't disagree with you.
Going to happen.
Ernest, I don't disagree with you on that. So but let me ask you this. Can I just ask Ernest one specific question about this, about the case of Jared Lee Loughner in the state of Arizona? Here is what we know. We know that Jared Lee Loughner left school, and he was a letter was sent back home with him or to him saying, if you want to come back and attend community college, you must provide a letter saying that you have seen a mental health professional and issues about your mental health have been addressed to our satisfaction. Why would you not concede that a similar letter might be necessary for someone to go and, buy a gun that can kill people?
Who's going to determine the sanity of someone to be able to purchase a weapon?
The mental health professionals.
There are mental health professionals that do that every single day.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. I feel an encroachment on individual liberties a lot, and that's a definitely big giant chunk you're taking off there.
Well, you know what? These kind of encroachments on personal liberties have been going on for an awfully long time. I've heard a lot of. I've heard Sheriff Dupnick in Pima County referring to Arizona being like Tombstone again, and I take issue with that because in Tombstone there were local ordinances preventing you from carrying a gun in town.
This is one thing that if you want to. I give you just simple mental exercise here. If we were to ban firearms, as I'm sure you and a lot of your listeners may wish to do.
I do not, sir. No. Please do not put words in my mouth, Ernest.
Any restriction on it. What has happened is here in Arizona, we have had a great reduction in violent crime. It is a much safer place here.
Really?
An armed citizenry creates a much safer. Yeah, I mean, I'm not making this up. Ask the FBI.
Well, I thought I heard Governor Jan Brewer.
Crime rate here, even though the economy is going into the tank, we have much less violence here. Now, if we were to reinstitute gun control in Arizona and more innocent people were killed and harmed, would that make you guilty of statistical murder?
No, it certainly would not. And I don't. First of all, I don't accept your statistics. And
in fact, it was an
I seem to have remembered.
To help restrain the guy.
I seem to remember
there to make sure when he's ready to go and reload his magazine with another large capacity magazine, you had an armed citizen there.
Who never had the time to draw his weapon.
And he also
never had the time to draw his weapon.
I'm so glad he was there, and I'm sure a lot of other people were also.
Hey, I'm thankful he was there. Don't get me wrong, Ernest. I mean, I think the guy acted with tremendous bravery.
But he also said that he was on the brink. He was afraid he was going to pull out his gun and shoot the wrong person.
Shoot the wrong person.
That's my thing, Ernest. My kid brother's a police officer, and he says, unfortunately, in this case, in the case of citizens or an overarmed citizenry, a lot of people make bad decisions, make bad choices, and the wrong people get shot.
Would it matter to you that fewer people are killed and harmed because of a more liberal view towards firearms? I mean, does it matter? I mean, I don't get the impression that it matters.
It does. It certainly does, Ernest. It certainly does matter to me who gets killed.
More liberal gun laws so that good people have guns. You could pass any law that you wanted. The criminals don't care what the law says.
Even trained professionals carrying a gun. Hear me out, Ernest. Even trained professionals in a time of duress. Let's talk about police, FBI, guys that are highly trained with their weapons. Their rate of success at hitting the target when that adrenaline and everything is pumping through their system, their rate of success is less than 30%. So you're talking about putting handguns in more people's hands that are going to be ruled by their emotions, that are not properly trained, and you want to talk about innocent people getting killed. I mean, you set off 3 or 4 people with handguns in that parking lot the other day, and
no, you're right. There are more police officers that kill innocent people than innocent people kill innocent people. And what you're saying, I want to put guns in the hands of someone. No, I don't want the government to take the gun out of my hands. It's a totally different way of looking at it.
You know what, Ernest? I don't disagree with you, sir. I don't necessarily, and I mean, you sound like a thoughtful and intelligent guy, and you have a great last name. I'm just saying that, frankly, there are a lot of the wrong people who have guns in their hands, and they have guns in their hands legally, and that's the issue.
That's why I need to have mine.
Well, see, I don't think you need to have yours as badly as. First of all, you clearly you sound like a bright guy. I wish, in fact, you had to undergo the same stringent requirements to get your gun as I have to go through to get my driver's license. That's all I'm saying. Why? What is the problem with ensuring that people are trained with their handgun, are licensed, insured, registered with their weapons? What's wrong with that?
I always default to freedom's the answer, what's the question? And I don't see freedom in asking permission of the very entity that the Second Amendment was there for me to be able to protect against, a tyrannical government. For me, it's not about duck hunting. It's about the protection of liberty. And for me to go to the very entity that I may need to protect against, of course they're going to say no when I need it the most.
What about the people whose freedoms were curtailed? In fact, their lives were ended by the fact that a young man got a gun with no restrictions, with apparently very little requirement by law to look into things like his mental state, and they've now lost their freedoms entirely. Their first one being their life.
The first thing that came to my mind was I applaud Representative Giffords for spending time in the community, but that she nor anyone of her assistants or anybody around her were armed. I found that naive. I would encourage members, instead of worrying about passing, they think some law is going to protect them, of saying it's illegal for a criminal to be within 1,000 feet of me with a gun, which is dumb. I would think that they would be more encouraged to protect themselves.
Ernest Hancock is the host of, Defend Your Independence?
Declare Your Independence.
Forgive me. Declare Your Independence, which is a radio program. It is heard in Phoenix. Is that right, sir?
No, it's on national network, the LRN.FM network, and I'm publisher of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com.
And Freedom's Phoenix, so folks can look for you online. That's Ernest Hancock. Ernest, thank you so much, sir. We do appreciate it. And listen, let's visit on this again. You sound like a great guy. We may disagree on things, but I think we can have an intelligent conversation about it.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Ernest Hancock, host of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock on
This is Ernest Hancock. I'm publisher of freedomsphoenix.com and the radio talk show host of Declare Your Independence. Now, I want to give you my personal endorsement of a wealthy U.S. citizen that is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He's produced a video for you. It's a real eye-opener, and I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to watch it. www.endofamerica, the numbers 1 and 7.com. endofamerica17.com. This video has the history of how we got where we are now and where we're going and why. Now, it's a lengthy video. It'll be about 20 minutes, but you need to watch this so you understand what's going to happen to this country and how you can protect your wealth and even benefit financially. Now, you go there. It's free. I want you to watch this video. You need to have this information so that you can survive the economic collapse that's coming to America. It's not if, it's when. That's End of America, the numbers 1 and 7.com. After you watch it, you'll understand why I endorse it.